Welcome to this week's Movie Math, where distributor Film District pulled a nifty little trick on the industry trades. Despite tracking indicating that James Wan's final horror film would pull in 40+ million, Film District announced it was expecting about half that. So when Insidious Chapter 2 did deliver, headlines on all the trades claimed it was a shocker. But what's really shocking is that these journalists continue to be in bed with the studios to ensure access to breaking news and even potential exclusives. So Film District gets to shape an impressive narrative, while James Wan couldn't be leaving the horror genre on a better note. And all eyes will certainly be on his action debut next year with Fast and Furious 7. While there is an increase of Asian talent behind the camera these days, including John Chu and Justin Lin, from whom Wan takes over the Fast and Furious franchise, Wan is clearly moving ahead of the pack to become a marquee name talent himself, close to joining directors like Christopher Nolan, Peter Jackson, and David Fincher, who have an intense fan base and can reliably deliver at the box office. This is also another huge win for Jason Blum, himself becoming a marquee name with audiences, as it's his second impressive #1 debut in a row after The Purge. Blum is all wrapped up for 2013, but has 3 new flicks planned for 2014, his Paranormal Activity Latino spin-off, Jezebel, and Stretch, and has just gotten a TV pilot picked up over at MTV. But unlike Wan, Blum feels if it ain't broke, don't fix it, and his TV pilot will be an adaptation of tween horror guru R.L. Stine's novel Eye Candy. It's also nice to see new talent join the top ranks of Hollywood on their own merit, rather than the now usual routes of nepotism or sex tapes. Meanwhile, I don't think Michelle Pfeiffer will be joining Wan in the action genre, despite her campaigning this past week, as the family was able to offer little counter-programming to Insidious Chapter 2. It might have claimed the #2 spot, but with a haul of around 14 million, it's still disappointing. The family was unable to match the debut of similar golden oldies crime comedy Red, or even Red 2. Sadly, this low number is Robert De Niro's best box office debut since 2011's Limitless, or 2010's Little Fockers if you want to compare it to a starring vehicle. But De Niro is De Niro and will continue to work for as long as he wants to, and he has 2 more films hitting theaters this year, Las Vegas and Grudge Match. Pfeiffer is a different story though, as this is just the latest in a long string of flops for the actress who, interestingly, despite her talent, has never been a huge box office draw. Even Batman Returns is one of the lowest grossing entries in the Dark Knight franchise, but at least it beat out Batman and Robin. As for the rest of the box office, Riddick fell a stark 63%, but alas, so did The Chronicles of Riddick in its second weekend. Good thing Riddick can see in the dark, because that's where his franchise seems to be heading. Meanwhile, Lee Daniels' The Butler finally crossed the century mark, but awards competitor 12 Years a Slave is gaining so much momentum on the festival circuit, most recently winning the crucial People's Choice Award at the Toronto International Film Festival, that Harvey Weinstein might have to just write it off as one of his rare box office hits. And We're the Millers continues to display tremendous staying power, surpassing Horrible Bosses to become one of the biggest hits of Jennifer Aniston's career, and making Jason Sudeikis' fellow SNL alum green with envy. Finally, One Direction This Is Us is just barely besting the poor box office hauls of Katy Perry and the Jonas Brothers' own 3D concert movies, signaling that not only the boy band's popularity is flickering, but the 3D concert movie genre itself. By the way, did any of you happen to catch the debut of Perry's music video for Roar earlier this month? If not, I put a link in the video description down below. It was so nice to see the return of more cinematic music videos, and the online success of the vid begs a suddenly obvious question. Why don't these music stars put this kind of effort into their 3D movies? Sure, filming an actual concert is cheaper and easier, but the potential return on a movie musical could make it worth the effort. Granted though, Perry's views are no match for Miley Cyrus's Wrecking Ball, the latter of which decided to go the Jennifer Aniston route. What's up with these ladies' success? Is it simply because they're willing to show skin, or did you actually enjoy We're the Millers and Wrecking Ball? Because Lindsay Lohan got naked, really naked, and nobody cared. As for this coming weekend, it looks like Chris Brown and company don't just have to worry about the South Koreans, but Australian Hugh Jackman as well, who is expected to easily defeat them at the box office. But neither will come close to Insidious Chapter 2. What's the next big box office hit? It's a toss-up between 2 visual stunners, Gravity and Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs 2. And that's the weekend box office. I'm Grace Randolph from Wichita's Movie Math. As always, thanks for watching, and I hope you'll go beyond the trailer for these other top movies.